Crikey, what's that in the background? Why, it's a box for some headphones from our friends over at OneMe. Those are the Y8 Plus wireless headphones. In today's video, we're going to be taking a closer look at them and trying to get as good a sound quality as we can out of those headphones to your ears to see if these headphones are right for you. So first and foremost, OneMe is sponsoring this video. They did send these headphones out to the channel for us to check out together. So thank you very much again, OneMe, for doing that. As always, there are links down there in the description. If you hear these, hear about them, whatever, and you feel like they suit your needs, I made it easy for you. There's a link down there for you to click and go get your very own pair. And while you're down there, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It helps out greatly. With all that being said, let's take a closer look at the Y8 Plus headphones by OneMe. So what do you get in the box? First off, the one back there, that box is totally empty because I've got everything right here with me. So you get the Y8 Plus headphones, as I said before. Something that some people brought up in my last headphone video that these have that they didn't is a nice little carrying bag. It's not a hard case or anything, but it is nice to get the little bag. You can just fold up the headphones, tuck them in there, pull the drawstrings, and it's good to go. And if you don't ever use it for that, hey, you got a free bag. You have a quick start guide and some other manual there so you can learn how to use your headphones, because it's not just as simple as putting on the headphones and you're off. It's got a couple of different little features on it, but we'll talk about that in just a second. You get your obligatory USB-C cable to charge the headphones, and then you do get a 3.5 millimeter cable in case you don't have Bluetooth on your phone for some reason in 2025, or maybe you just have a headphone jack on there because you don't feel like you need to get the newest iPhone every 6 months to a year when they release them, and you can just go ahead and plug it straight into there. Or if you're in like my case, you can take one of these little adapters right here, plug it into the cable, plug it into an interface, and then you can monitor, record, all that kind of stuff straight into your interface with these great headphones. And then obviously, as I showed you earlier, the headphones themselves. So let me go ahead and tell you about the build quality of these a little bit. I do have these out of the box. Obviously, I've used them very minimally, so this is still kind of first impressions. At least I'm counting it as first impressions. If you don't like that, I don't know what to tell you. But it does feel like it's a nice, plasticky kind of build here, but not like in a cheap way. They do feel nice and premium, especially on the ear muffs, I guess is what you want to call them here. This padding is very, very soft, feels nice and comfy, almost like you're putting clouds over your ears. Same as the top here. It's got this nice little cushy part right here that sits on top of your head. So comfortability all around. And it's definitely not form over function with the Y8 Plus, because these things are pretty impressive. Not just in some of the features they have, they're all kind of pretty standard, but they do them really, really well. As noted on the back of the box here. So we have feed forward and feedback ANC technology, which is the noise canceling that goes into these headphones. I'm not quite sure what feed forward is. It's actually the first time I've ever heard that term, but feedback, we all know what feedback is, that lovely sound. Unparalleled sound quality. We're going to test that in the best way that I know how here in just a minute. And you'll just have to take my word for it on some of the stuff because I can only do so much. Folding design, that's pretty across the board on a lot of these headphones here. Wired support, as I showed you earlier, with the 3.5 millimeter cable. Super long playtime, which is pretty good considering that, they're battery powered, and you're probably going to be listening to music a lot on these because they sound fantastic. So again, a quick overview of how this works. So you just turn them on. It was super duper easy to set it up on my phone. You turn them on, go to your Bluetooth settings on your phone, tablet, whatever you got, find it in the list, tap it, it pairs. Dead easy. Took all of like 10 seconds to do. You do have on the left side, where it goes over your left ear, you have the power button there to turn them on. That's where you would plug in your cable if you need to do that. That's where you engage or turn off the ANC, because it's got 3 different modes on it, which I'll talk about in just a second. On the right hand side, you charge it right there. Then you have your volume up and down, as well as your pause play, which can also function as answering the phone if you happen to get a phone call while you're wearing these. Now with the ANC, again, you do have the noise canceling, which I've tested it on these thus far. It's really, really good. I mean, it cuts out pretty much all of the noise unless you're like in a really, really, really loud environment when you're listening to music. I mean, it's like, that's all you can hear. It's really, really nice. Then you also have normal mode, which is that in-between spot. So it really just feels like you have headphones over your ears. It's almost like if you did like that and talked. That's about what it sounds like. What you would expect. Then you have transparency mode, which pretty much allows all of the sound to come through the headphones. So it's almost like you're not wearing headphones, right? But it just makes it easier so you don't have to keep taking them on and off, doing like that to, talk to somebody. So if you expect to be in a conversation, maybe just press the button, throw them into transparency mode, and then it tells you in each when you're going to, change to each mode, it'll say transparency, normal, or noise canceling. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna go ahead and plug these in and see how the wired support is. And I'm just gonna monitor my voice through my interface. So we're gonna use the included cable here. I'm just gonna take that off. They adjust pretty well. I'm just gonna turn up the headphones there. All right. Now I can hear myself through the headphones, and I gotta say, they sound great. Now, I don't believe you have the ability with these off, obviously, when it's plugged in to do the active noise canceling. So you kind of sacrifice that if you use the wired option. But I mean, for something like this, if you're doing like a podcast, if you're mixing music, which I don't generally recommend mixing music on headphones, but you do what you want. I like to use headphones as a reference point, and these are great to have as a reference point. So not just listening to finished mixes, and if you're like browsing Spotify or listening to MP3s on your phone, but if you're doing a mix and you need to kind of reference what it would sound like in some headphones, these will get the job done. Now, I will say this. When you go into the ANC mode, which I'll show you here in just a second when you hear kind of what it sounds like, it does get rather bassy, but not in a bad way. It's a really nice bass boost with the ANC, which is kind of expected because, again, you're cutting out all of the real world noise and getting just, as the mix intended. When you go to normal and transparency mode, it does kick that bass down a little bit, but again, it's no different than if you were just listening in your car with the bass dialed down a little bit. It's not bad by any means, and I'm hoping that I can kind of get that through whenever I do what I'm going to do here. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these headphones, I'm going to connect them Bluetooth to my phone, and then I'm going to take and just literally put one of the muffs over the microphone like so. I may or may not remove this. I don't know if it really makes that big of a difference, but I'll figure out which one. And I'm going to put it over like that. I'm just going to kind of play them. And hopefully that will get some kind of semblance of what these things really sound like, because I'm very impressed with the sound quality of these. They do sound really, really good. So let me go ahead and try to get that for you, and you can tell me in the comments whether it sounded good to you or not.
In the hush of the night, where the whispers play, every note finds a home in its own ballet. The bass walks slow, like a lover's vow, and the trumpet sighs. Do you hear me now? Oh, crystal clear, every tone, every tear, each melody's a secret for your ear. Let the music unfold, rich and bright. Hear the world in a whole new light.
Yeah, the beat drops low like a heart in the rain. Riding bass lines deep, it's a sonic terrain. Feel it in your chest, let it rattle your brain. Every note, every word sharp like a chain. Echoes in the air, slices in through the night. The sound so clean, it's a fighter in flight. Raw edges smooth like steel on ice. It's a vibe, it's a wave, it's your one device. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Can you feel the groove? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Let the rhythm move, turn it up. Let the sound define. 1Y8 plus clarity's divine. Bounce, bounce, bounce. Can you feel the groove? Bounce, bounce, bounce. Let the rhythm move, turn it up. Let the sound define. 1Y8 plus clarity's divine.
So at the end of the day, the Y8 Plus by 1Me, they're a no-brainer. If you're looking for a really nice quality, really good sounding pair of headphones for everyday use, or if you're doing it to monitor mixes, or you're doing it for podcasts, or you're doing it for, again, like I would use it as a reference point, these are absolutely some of the headphones that you need to consider. Now, obviously there are a million other options out there, and I've talked about another pair that I really do like too, the Tozo headphones. But these are a serious competitor for those. You really can't go wrong with either one. I think comfortability, these take it by like that much. They're both equally as comfortable, but I do like these just a little bit more how they fit over my ears. As you can see, I got a lot of hair, so they do fit slightly more comfortably to me. Your mileage may vary. And then you also get, you know, like the carrying bag and all that kind of stuff, but that's all, you know, that's just a personal thing. So with all that being said, thank you guys very much for checking out this video. I hope it helped you make an informed decision. Again, links are down there in the description. Please make sure you subscribe. Thank you again, 1Me, for sending out the Y8 Plus headphones. And I hope you had a good time watching this video and got something out of it. I'll catch you guys in the next video.